Performance. Something that is fleeting in today's market. Something that many people overlook. In today's roller skating market, it's all too easy to just buy whatever's on the shelves and readily available. But this is different. This is for the enthusiast market. This is for those that are in the know of what real roller skating performance truly is. You see, when the older generation of enthusiast roller skaters talks about how they just don't make them like they used to anymore, the truth is, they never quite made them like this at all. See, this is actually the measure, the benchmark, if you will, of roller skating performance. How someone could just altogether try to accomplish the standards of the past while simultaneously surpassing them is amazing. And yet, true to the tale of David versus Goliath, this one product did it all in one fell swoop. Possibly the most captivating part of this story is how these aren't produced in mass. Oh no, these are handmade in small batches, hailing from Australia, poured by a hobbyist, and yet does better than most corporate outfits. All right, time for the history lesson. It all starts in about the late 80s, early 90s. Quad speed skating was definitely almost at its complete peak. Everybody was trying to get in, and it was a highly competitive market. Everybody was doing everything they can to buy speed at any cost, and the companies were no different as far as competing for those markets. Out of all of these companies in the 90s, during this time, one stands out above all of them. And that was Intense Wheel Company out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. See, their flagship model, the Wicked Lip, the way it was designed was actually way ahead of its time. It featured a low-profile tire and a very large diameter aircraft aluminum hub, which resulted in a much faster roll at any durometer and a much lighter weight even at a full size. Because of this, it quickly became the de facto wheel for connoisseurs who were very picky about performance. In the late 90s, when the quad speed market basically collapsed on itself, Hyper stepped in and recreated the Wicked Lip as the Hyper Shaman with near identical dimensions. It wasn't quite the same though, and we were still looking for our next fix of Wicked Lip goodness. Now, enter the 2010s, and a privateer by the name of Scott Corey set out to fix these problems that we had by pouring his own special urethane in his own house on a Wicked Lip style hub. Little did we know that it was actually going to outdo the predecessor it wished to emulate. So how does it skate? Well, let's find out. Now, needless to say, grip and roll were tremendous, but the real star here is the grip threshold, and the ability to break away was almost telepathic. Now, as you can see here, I had a little bit of a problem getting up onto the lips, but that was just because these are a custom cut and they were cut narrower than stock. Word to the wise, these things are not produced anymore, so if you can get a set, get them, but they're all going to be used. Generally, you can expect to pay anywhere from about $200 to $300 depending on condition, color, etc., hardness, all that for them, but it's totally worth the amount of money you spend on them. And these wheels are something that you buy for life. These take forever to wear down, and generally this is something that you buy to have a long time, not just a good time. As you can see here, icebergs were really hard to snap into, especially out of jumps, just because they didn't really have a lip on them, so to speak. That was taken off by Nathan Edwards, as requested by Marshall Mort. But if you don't do lip tricks and you leave them stock, none of this should be an issue. And of course, this was filmed at the Rollercade in San Antonio. If you're ever down here in San Antonio, Texas, come and check it out. And I'd like to give a big shout out to Vanilla for providing the test beds for these tests, which was the Vanilla Tuxedo. It's been a rock solid skate. And of course, the man himself, Scott Corey at Corey Skates. Go check him out on Facebook for making these wonderful, wonderful wheels. This is TJ with Roller Skate Universe. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and happy skating.